President Chartrand on line 10.
Line 10, the president of the Manitoba Métis Federation, David Chartrand.
How are you doing, Ray?
Oh, doing good. The sun's out, it's nice and warm and everything, and
It is beautiful out. I was actually doing an interview. I'm at the office right now.
Oh, okay.
And I was doing an interview at CBC, and it'll be on the 6 o'clock news. I was here this morning to take my vaccine.
Oh.
I first did an interview on CGOB this morning on the issue of the vaccine, of course, and what has happened to us as a Métis in the last little while. Just to give everybody an update that's listening, we got altogether only, but we're still happy because at 200 vaccines means we're saving 200 lives and beyond with families. And so what we actually were proud to see is that, firstly, I want to give Dennis Meaches, of course, kudos. The Long Plains, it went excellent. I want to thank staff that worked so hard on helping Melanie and her team. I want to thank them again for the work they conducted and the professionalism on that reserve, how it was so well crafted. We're actually sending a bouquet of fruit to Long Plains to say thank you on behalf of the Métis people of Manitoba, our elders, our citizens, our workers. Because the rules apply differently on the reserve, we can have different age brackets. It was Moderna that the First Nations had, but I want to say this openly, Ray, for everybody that's listening. I could have got my shot along with the rest of our people that went to Long Plains. I'm sure Dennis Meaches would have loved to have me come on the reserve and get my shot in his reserve. However, I stayed and waited for the Federation, ensuring first that if there's any vaccines available, I would take it. Even though I meet the age criteria, I meet the chronic illness criteria and all the rest of it. I still want to make sure that if an elder came or somebody came and there was no vaccine, would go to them first before it came to me. But I wanted to take the AstraZeneca, and because I want to show the people that your leader is telling you, and with all the information I've got, all the my COVID team has been able to gather, the reviews that have happened on the vaccines, whether it's Pfizer, whether it's Moderna, whether it's AstraZeneca, whether it's Johnson & Johnson's coming in the future. All these vaccines are there to save your life, and they're comparable, all of them. Some say Pfizer is more safer than Moderna. Moderna is saying, well, we're safer than Pfizer. But when you look at the potential harm and risk, it is so far apart, Ray, that potential harm can come your way. It's like probably winning the lottery max a couple times. Like it's like winning NCI bingo, for crying out loud. It takes forever to win that. But the key at the end of the day, and these are the numbers people got to look at if you're doing a MAT review, and I think that's why I stayed for this particular vaccine, to show everybody if your president can trust it, your president saying trust your president, and if you don't feel comfortable, then check with your doctor.
Right.
And your doctor will give you advice too. So doctors, epidemiologists, experts that are saying the vaccines are all safe. They're safer than running around without one, and the potential of what's going to happen if that virus does get into your body. Now, I had one of my ministers here this morning. We were meeting on a different issue, John Toronto from Duck Bay, and his father passed away, and because of COVID, and in Duck Bay just a few days ago. And my condolences go out to the Toronto family. COVID took him, but it just shows again how quick that the virus, once it gets into your body, how it affects the rest of all your organs and so forth. And next thing you know, you could be leaving this world much sooner.
Right.
So it is a serious matter. And my sister and I were chatting, and some people are fear-mongering their family members. The older people are being told, don't take it. I read about it. You're going to get blood clots. You're going to die. You know, it's not... I don't know if anybody actually dies from a blood clot yet, in all the facts that are out there right now. But the numbers, so people can understand this. Like if you look at Europe, UK, right? There's 11 million doses of AstraZeneca given out, I think, in total. And there's 200 people, above 200 people that got it. You know what kind of decimal point that is? That's like 0.00000 something, you know?
Yeah.
It's so minute, so far-reaching. And it's not even proving that it's the vaccine that's causing it. It could be your body resisting it. And so out of 11 million and more, of course, that are getting vaccines around the world, it just shows some of our bodies are going to react differently. But for us as a Métis, the people this morning here were so proud. Arnold Asham, for example, came. It owns Grassroots News, and he was here. He's proud as a fisherman and a Métis citizen to get his vaccine. Sharon Pronto was a good one of our executive directors in L'Oreal Institute. She was so proud as one of the Métis citizens and employee of the Federation, but also at the same time a woman, telling everybody, look, I did my research, and this vaccine is safe, and it's much greater danger for you not to have it by far. And so even the premier, he took Pfizer, right? And if I would have given him, if you would ask me advice, I would have told him take AstraZeneca to show the people that this vaccine is safe as any other vaccine. So based on it'd be so rare in odds. As I said, you might as well say you're going to win the Lotto Max twice, and that's never going to happen in your lifetime. So when you look at it from the context, Ray, I want to show leadership. I want to show that clearly from my side, that we are saying from the Métis government, we trust the vaccines that are out there. We trust all of the experts that are telling us to trust it. Health Canada is telling us to trust it. Everybody's saying you trust this and take it because this virus is more deadly. Mm-hmm. Now there's even a new one that's coming, Ray. We already got the UK variant that came in.
Yeah.
That's a higher percentage of citizens now getting that one versus the initial virus. It's still the same virus, but it's much more stronger and moves faster. It's getting to be smarter is what it actually is. Now the Brazilian one, they're saying the P1 is even more deadly. And moves much quicker, meaning it moves faster in the body. It's getting to be smarter, and it's getting to figure out how to get around your system and take you on inside there. So the best way to describe this, I was talking to my granddaughter about it, and my wife and I were chatting. She got Moderna, so I'm very happy for her. My granddaughter was upset. She's 13. She said, "Why can't I get one?" And I said, "Because they're not allowing children yet, my baby." And she said, "Well, I'm younger. I have a longer chance of survival in my life yet. Why don't I get one?" Mm-hmm. So you're older. So she's kind of debating our issue, like trying to defend herself.
Right.
Like as young kids, they should also get it. That they were worried. So I said, "My baby, when they say it's okay for kids to get it, then I assure you I'll try to get you appointments." But it just shows that our kids are thinking about it too. That it's a necessity today in our everyday life. But we have to look really at how we go about one. This P1, and I explained this to her, and I told this to my sister too, and Rita and Dr. A and others. I said, look, how you look at it is this: like right now, the reason this virus is so dangerous to our body is that the little armies, we'll call them armies of soldiers in our blood system, and they're all kind of called molecules and different things that make your body move, right? And all the different body science, use science language, the antibodies in your body, they're little soldiers in there to fight any sickness to come your way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, that's your soldiers in your body. What they do is to protect you. And so when a virus comes into if there's a flu, a cold, right away those soldiers go to work to fight. Why this one's so different is the soldiers don't know who they're fighting. They can't see them.
Right.
Because the virus is new. It's brand new. The body doesn't know it. And so the soldiers don't know who they have to fight with. So that's what the vaccines do by VBS. So they put a bunch of new soldiers in there that recognize these other soldiers now that are coming in this virus. Now they know what soldiers to fight. That's how they look at it. That's how you look at how your body's doing it inside of you, if you want to better understand it. So it's simply that way. If you look at it, the virus is dangerous because our bodies do not know it. It's a new sickness. And so now these vaccines, you're putting a bunch of new soldiers in there to take on these virus soldiers that are coming into you. So, and they know how to fight back now. So already this morning, for example, I was told the chance of me dying of this vaccine already 70% from the first shot, 70% already it definitely will not happen. For me to be in a hospital, a 70% chance I'm never going to go to the hospital even if I got the virus by chance. When I get to 30%, then it'll be basically near 100%, which I'll get my second shot. So when you look at it, Ray, I'm encouraging our people. The purpose I held out on this one is to stay here, wait, and show the people take any vaccine that comes your way. And as the Métis people, we got only 200 vaccines assigned to us, yet we got 100,000 people. And so, again, out there, I want to thank any chiefs I wanted to work with. Dennis was the one I expressed my greatest gratitude. I know Glenn Hudson reached out to us, but by the time he said he couldn't get me no vaccines because they're already all given out. So I'm just hoping that there's no wasted vaccines out there because our people would love to have had the chance to get one. And because there's many people out there that are worried and concerned, they should be. And as I said earlier, like John Pronto from Duck Bay passed on. If he didn't get the COVID, I'm sure he would have lived a little longer, but it was quickly taking on his internal organs and beat him. So again, take this seriously, my friends. And now let's have a little update, Ray, if I can, on other work. Firstly, we're nearing our 15,000 hampers, Ray. So that's again a massive movement by our COVID team. That's Francis and Anita leading that charge. And actually, Ray, in the last 6 months, with businesses and others, we spent $5.6 million to our citizens across the province. So that tells you that we're doing our action plan and we're working to make sure we're doing everything in our power to keep our situation in a state where we're making very clear we're trying to keep our people safe no matter what it takes. So it's working out well. We are working on, for students out there, we're working on a phase right now. I'm sure you'll be getting a letter or an email advising you we're going to give you some more funding to assist with some of your personal costs, and that'll be going out very quickly. So students out there, parents, if you have a university student out there that's or a college student out there, because we know they move away from home and they got to pay their bills, they got to take care of themselves, pay their fuel to school or get their bus passes. So we're giving them some more money, and that'll be going out. I think we're giving each one $500. But remember, Ray, it sounds like 500 says, well, that's not a lot. That's $1 million because there's 2,000 students.
Right.
So if we give 1,000, then I do the math.
Yep.
You know, you're talking $2 million. So, and not counting the 5,000 we already give them for post-secondary students, that already is in the ranges of $7-8 million. So again, but that's what our government is so proud of. And of course, Minister Joan Ledoux is the lead on that, and I thank her very much. Now, I want to start off also by thanking Casey got a hold of me this morning, Casey Como. The Provincial Youth Advisory Committee is meeting. Minister Germain is there, and Met staff are working hard at their meeting today, showcasing the youth are active within the government, and we are aptly supportive and engaged with the youth, of course. And of course, as you know, Ray, I talked about it on the show, Mr. Germain announced $1 million for structured sports and at the same time professional sports investment, where we want to help our families get their kids to be more recreational opportunities available to them, so we can make sure our kids have better than sitting at home and playing on a laptop or a computer and not going out and doing some other thing, being proactive in the sport. If you don't give them the tools, how do you expect them to do it? And if the families are struggling economically, how do you expect them to do it? So that's why we want to make sure we buy the equipment that's necessary. We're working very vigorously on camps already. These camps will happen this year. And we're hiring people. You'll look for the ads, people out there that's listening. If you're in that field, especially in the oversight of youth and being involved with maybe counseling or camps or any form of sports, if you've been trained in that field, just get your name to the Federation as fast as you can. Even before the ads get out there, just write to Minister Janai, Minister of Youth and Sports, and tell him, look, I'm so-and-so, and I have, I got my certification, I've been in school, I got trained, I'm a counselor, all these things. I want to apply for the job before you're advertising it. So get your name in there. We're going to make sure we hire these people as soon as we can, because that's a lot of organization rate, because we're talking thousands of kids we hire throughout the summer for youth jobs, but we also want to make sure that we take all these kids out to camps and so forth. And if we have to buy them the sleeping bags, if they don't have them, or any of the necessary supplies, then we're going to do that. So families listening out there, make sure you get your kids ready. We're going to try and take as many as we can. We are looking at 2 to 3 camps. We're doing everything from cultural identity to fishing to just knowing about natural resources, going out teaching them about the bush, how to make a fire, how to be respectful, how to be in charge, how to wash dishes, how to lead a camp, and how to become a leader. So all these skills will be attained to them, and we want families from all over to apply. So we want to make sure, even the kids alone, just on the staff employees of the Federation, we got 900 employees. So if you imagine just all the kids that are a part of that.
Yeah.
But I want these other families that usually don't have a chance to get their kids out. So I made it very clear that's going to be my number one priority. I told that to Minister Germain. So if families are listening out there, your kid has never gone out to a camp, and you want your kid to get out there, put your names out, call your regional office and say, look, I'm so-and-so, and I got 2 kids, one's 13, one's 14. And of course, we're not going to be taking too young on camping stuff, but on other sports, we're going to take all ages. But from that perspective, on camping, of course, we'll get them to sign a paper. They're legally entrusting us with a child, and that, of course, we have to worry about safety, life jackets, and making sure they don't go on their own, they don't get lost in the bush. There's all kind of things we got to be on top of and worry about. But we want these kids to apply, these families to apply for their kids. Now, I spoke before UNDRIP. UNDRIP, of course, United Nations Declaration of Rights of our citizens, really overall. And if you look at it, I did a presentation for about an hour, and I spoke about the importance of Bill C-15 moving forward. I believe they're going to push this and get the royal assent, and I'm very hopeful they do. It really sets the foundation of looking at people's rights, human rights more importantly, if you want to look at it from that perspective. Women, First Nations, Métis, Inuit, Two-Spirited people, the list goes on. Looking at it, showing that, educational, child welfare, health rights, all these things are encompassed into the process, and that the government now has a liability, a legal obligation, even though they do have it. This sets the parameters of more clarity that they have a responsibility and they have to be accountable to that. So I'm really pushing hard to get this bill get into royal assent. Once in royal assent, everybody understands. In case you don't know what royal assent is, of course, in politics, you need to, sometimes you have this different language you never heard about. Royal assent really means that the government of Canada will actually give it its final blessing in law that it's official and is part of now the legislation of the government of Canada, that they have now committed legally and politically and constitutionally. They're responsible to make sure this program is enacted upon. That's what the real reason why you want to get. There's first reading, second reading, third reading, they call it rates, all this boring stuff. But it's a lot of work, sometimes it takes years. And the royal assent is the final stage where Parliament passes it and becomes law. So that's going to be something I'm pushing very hard, Ray, for. And we'll all celebrate as Métis people and First Nation and Inuit once it gets approved. So the Métis Minute, Pemmican's coming up, Ray. That's going to be a good one. And for people out there that don't realize the role we played, I know there's many that believe the voyageurs were the dominant force in the Pemmican. No, it's not. In fact, it wasn't the voyageurs from Quebec. It was not the Irish from Eastern Canada, because they actually come from overseas, from Ireland. But they played a role, but not as dominant as the Métis. The Métis, I'll give you an example, Ray. Just on the labor side of the movement of the Pemmican, we're talking at times 63,000 pounds of pemmican being moved across into the rivers, of course, for the York boats.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, it was 1,600 Métis working in that area, while we had 200-300 voyageurs. So guess who the dominant force is? The Métis. We're the big dominant energy of the workforce that were actually moving a commodity that we actually made and sold, and were sent to all kind of ports and factories across not only here, but in the United States. That's why the first battle took place in 1816, actually called the Pemmican Wars. And because we were trading our pemmican with the United States, and they tried to stop us in 1816, and the Métis said, no, you're not. We've been doing this all along. Who in the hell are you to come into our country, into our land, and tell us you're going to change the rules now, and we got to sell it to you. And we shut down our businesses, and we're at your mercy. Forget it. And the Métis said no, and then they sent a little army on their way to stop us, and not one of them came home alive. So the Métis were very strong on that, and were protecting their trade, free trade. So it's very important people recognize that. We also I got filed yesterday. I got delivered a document from Ontario. The Métis Nation of Ontario is taking the MMF to court, and the rest of the Métis in the homeland. And they're saying to the Métis of the homeland that they have a right to decide who's Métis in Ontario, and they're going to take us to the Ontario courts to say that the new people that are bringing in are going to be Métis Nation citizens, and they're going to get the courts to sanction them. So we'll go to war. As we said, this is the one that's coming, the one we knew the first battle of 1816. We knew the battle of 1870 where our enemy was. When you were to battle over anything was in 1885, when we went to all those, whether it's in Fish Creek or Duck Lake, all the battles that took place, we knew who we were fighting. Here, we got now we're starting to get a better picture of who we're fighting. There are people coming from Eastern Canada, like right from Ottawa, outside of Toronto, Simcoe, and all those villages around there they're calling the new Métis. And they're saying they have the same rights and the same privileges, same culture as the Métis Nation. And I guarantee you, Ray, as anybody listening to me right now, I guarantee you 100% guarantee that those people are not us.
Right.
There's no connection historically to us. There's no way these people were ever connected to us. That those people are saying that they're us. And the best one I really, and we're actually writing a book on it, so people can get a better essence of it. And when we did a probe, we used a professional company who did research, right, on a question to our citizens and our leaders, our community leaders, local leaders, and we asked them, what's the number one issue for you? Well, Ray, guess what? It wasn't housing. It wasn't education.
Yeah.
It wasn't even land claim.
No.
Land claim is very high up there, trust me, but it was not. It was called identity. Number one issue, culture and identity. People are worried. People know what's happening. They're listening to the Métis government. They're hearing the news that these new people are coming to steal our identity, and they've already given me the directive to move. If it ever happens, that if they beat us in court, and they try, and we'll fight them, trust me. And if they ever get like Alberta president supporting them, President of Saskatchewan supporting them, but the people of Saskatchewan aren't supporting them, and I don't think the people of Alberta are supporting. It's just the presidents. But what's happening here, Ray, if they ever get people into our nation, that the floodgates, that means are wide open. That means our culture is going to change. Our identity is going to change. There's going to be a different view of our nation. There'll be potential in the decades to come, millions of them coming in, and they're going to outnumber us. They're going to squash us. They're going to flood us like Johnny MacDonald wanted to do to us when he said we'll get all the squatters in there and we'll just flood them out. And that was what they're going to try to do to us again now in this new millennium. And I tell you, my people are giving me a green light to fight like hell. And so when I look at it from the concept of what Jenny Crouchy gave a report on our gathering we had, from hundreds and hundreds and thousands actually watched it. And Janine Crouchy gave such a perfect example of that when she talked about the Métis beating. When she talked about the beating of the people, the prairie people, that the Métis Nation had the beadwork going back to the late 1700s and 1800s. And at one time we were called the flower-beaded people. Because before we called the Métis Nation, we were called the flower-beaded people. Anybody would know First Nations, anybody non-Indigenous, if they got to know who we were, they would know just by our beadwork who we were. Because all of our beadwork will always have the prairie flowers. Just like you would know any of the work of the Sioux, you would know the work of the Cree, you know the work of the Ojibwe by their beadwork. And so that was one way of identifying who we were as a people. That's why they call us the flower-beaded people. You will not find that in any of these villages they claim to have in Ontario now. And when the ones that are talking about Mattawa and all those places way the hell up there, there is not one place you can find that ever connects to that beadwork and to their identity. Not one will ever connect to our wars. Not one would be able to identify the struggle and the hell we've gone through, the fight we had to go through, even to get where we are today. And then for them to come and steal our identity, even try to throw it by the courts or throw any fashion they want, we'll never allow it, Ray. And the people, as I said, they've given the green light to protect my government, to protect our nation. The Métis Federation government will do it, and we'll use every power we have to defend our people. Our young people have told us the same. They will fight side by side. Our elders have told us the same. Our families, our locals, they will stand side by side, and we will fight to protect who we are. They've tried to assimilate us. They tried to beat us since 1816, and we're still around now. And there's no way in hell after we got so far. And remember, Ray, we're negotiating land claims, which are billions of dollars. We're negotiating health legislation that our people will have the right to health care as First Nations have. Our people are negotiating child welfare transformation, devolution to occur. All these things are happening. So these people in the East are saying, we want it too now. So now they're seeing what we before. Nobody wanted to be Métis, Ray.
That's
we had
right.
nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted. You know that.
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
wanted it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to ever say they're Métis. And now the East are coming in like crazy because they're saying, well, if the MMF can get this because they have a right in the Constitution, said, we're going to claim we're a Métis Nation too. In Ontario, I want you to say we are. In Ontario, saying, okay, you are. And we have the right to decide it ourselves, they're saying.
That's
so
right.
we'll go to court, Ray, and I'll keep our people posted on that. Our cabinet is well versed on this, and as I said, we will fight vigorously to protect our nation always. So I got some birthdays here. I want to say happy birthday, 24th birthday to JD Overwater Communications, who celebrated her birthday on Wednesday, April 14th. Happy birthday, JD Overwater. I love the name, Overwater.
Uh-huh.
Happy 61st birthday to Honorable Dan Vendel, a proud Métis, who celebrated his birthday on Sunday, April 18th. Of course, Dan will probably be running an election this year, and he's Métis, and he'll get the support of this government. I'll say it publicly anywhere. He will get the support of this government, Dan. If you're listening, you will get Métis. We will support you. We'll vigorously fight for you. You've shown already that you're willing to stand up for your Métis Nation, to fight for it, and we will fight vigorously to protect that you get reelected and get back into Parliament to fight for the Métis Nation. We're also going to be, of course, saying happy birthday to Claire T. Riddle, who's celebrating her birthday, 76th birthday, Claire. Claire used to sit on our cabinet for many, many years. She retired out of politics and moved out to traditionally where she comes from, in the far-reaching areas in the northwest region. And she lives in that area right now, and I can't give you her address, but a happy birthday, Claire. I hope you're listening out there. So I want to say hi to my wife. I hope she's listening at home, and to my baby. And I'm just so proud of my baby standing up for herself, challenging me and anybody else. Why can't I get a vaccine? I'm young, and I'm worried. I'm concerned, and I should be protected just like everybody else. So
good for you.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
for
that.
sure.
You know, that they're speaking out for themselves. And again, Richard, I hope you have a good meeting today. As usual, we have some very good youth leaders out there. They're very well versed, and they're working hard to make a difference. They want to ensure that the next generation, and to all the students listening, their Métis government will keep on working vigorously to protect you and fight vigorously to make sure that we can give you as much resources as we can to fulfill your dreams. But don't forget what my mom taught me, what your parents have probably taught you. Don't ever forget where you come from.
That's
and
right.
Don't forget your Métis government, your Métis Nation. Come back and help it when you get to a place that you know you can make a big difference now and help us move forward. So with that, Ray, I want to say goodbye to everybody.
Just a second, David.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for me to release my song that I wrote a while back.
Oh, I am proud to be Métis, man.
Not that one, no.
Which one?
Daddy was a Frenchman, Mama was a Cree. All you call me was dirty half-breed. Now we're alone standing on our land. What you gonna call me now, white man?
Exactly. I love that song. I love that one. But you know, Ray, like you and I have chatted before, and people listening on the show know the same. Like nobody ever wanted to be Métis in Eastern Canada. They didn't care. Now that we're finally getting all our rights and we won all our court battles, it's cost us millions of dollars to get there, millions upon millions, and we finally got our place in Confederation, our place in the Constitution to be recognized. Now everybody's going to come and steal it from us now.
That's right.
And we're not going to allow it to happen, Ray. And there's so much money at stake now, and that's what it is. And my job is to protect that money, protect our rights, ensure that our identity is never going to be taken from us or stolen or watered down, versions be attached to it. We have to make sure we're protecting it with every ounce of political power we have. So with that being said, Ray, I guarantee you our citizens count on me as a leader. I will fight for this vigorously. I will protect our people. I will never let nobody steal our identity. That's never going to happen under my watch. And right now the people still believe in me. They allow me to be their president. I thank them very much. And, there's always a time that presidents come and go. But I've been fortunate to lead for 22 years, I think now. And our people have showed me trust. They have got me in by 2 acclamations, which is unbelievable. It's record-setting. Even the first one was record-setting. But to have 2 in a row back-to-back, whatever the next election leads, I don't know. And whoever wants to run, I look forward to that campaign. I will be running, Ray. I'll make it very publicly clear. My wife and I had a chat on this already.
Right.
And I said I'm 61. I still got some good energy left inside of me.
Yeah.
I still got good vision where I think I need to take my people. And I will still vigorously stand up to defend them. And I promised them I would finish this land claim. I'm not done with it yet. I'm starting to negotiate right now. We finally got our negotiations underway, and that'll take several years to conclude. Because I made a promise I will run and be a president until I solve this and resolve this land claim settlement. So I'm honored right now, and I will get there. And as I said, the people entrust for me to stay and honor me to allow me to stay and give me the humble authority to lead them. I will fight vigorously to continue fighting what I've always done, advancing my people. So, again, Ray, take care. This is not a campaign speech, by the way. That's still over a year away. I just feel right now, because what's going on, I want the people that one person always impressed me. He said, wrote me an email and said, we need to know what you're going to do, David, because we know we're getting older, so might die. So we need to know where we're going as a nation. You need to tell us where we need to go. You need to tell us on TV so we all know where we're going. And then when you die, we know where we're going. So at least he had vision. He definitely saw the future, and he was worried about it. What if I leave? Right now, he doesn't have to worry. In his view, he lets me do all the thinking and the worrying. And but he's saying, well, what happens if you're gone? So, like I said, we'll have a plan in this government. This government's so strong today. We got 900 employees across the province, and that's a big number. Remember, Ray, I had 3 staff in 1996. Now we got 900 families that depend on the government and are working for the government to serve our people. Wow. So anyway, you guys take care.
Okay.
And keep up the good work. And be safe out there at you too, Cowboy. Be safe. And I'm proud to get my AstraZeneca vaccine on behalf of the people to show you I trust it. Trust it. Get any vaccine you can get and make sure you're safe. Protect your elders. Protect your family. And definitely protect our children.
All right.
Okay, Ray.
All right, David. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye now. David Chartrand, the president of the Manitoba Métis Federation, with his weekly report, Métis Matters. And boy, he's busy. He's going.
Yeah.
Get out of his way.